especially in 2020 with a pandemic, shaky economy, human rights violations, and riots? What might be coming next, and why is it all happening? Leo Knighton Tallarico, a longtime professional astrologer, will show us the planetary movements behind all this transformation. Is it possible extraterrestrial beings are a part of all this? Sit back and enjoy the ride as Leo takes us on a journey into the cosmos, showing us humanity's movement into the age of Aquarius, which will unite us all, even in the face of our world's challenges. And now, Perspectives from the Sky with Leo.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Perspectives from the Sky. Today, this 21st day of August, 2021. God, these new millennium has gone so quickly. 21 years into this. I'm sure a lot of you can remember when it was just like 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 1. Yay! It's the new millennium. Now we have really some really great guests today, and I'm hoping that the technicalities can be worked out on hearing and on seeing. Number one, we have Richard Ruttenberg on. He has not been on before. Really happy to bring him on. He was connected to Dr. Mack, Dr. John Mack, who I've mentioned many times because of my interview of him back in 2002 on KSFR radio in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and how that kind of brought me into this whole opening my mind up to actually visitors from other places, UFOs. Dr. Mack, and I've said this before, I'm just going to do it really, really quickly now. I know a lot of you have heard it already, but Dr. Mack is a psychiatrist at Harvard University, a professor at Harvard University. And he had heard about abductions of people by ships that came from somewhere else, actual abductions, and they're brought on the ship, and sometimes they're tinkered with, and then they come back. And being a psychiatrist, he wanted to go out there, interview everybody, and see who was legit and who wasn't. And his expectations were everybody's kind of crazy. He's a psychiatrist. But he goes out there, interviews a couple hundred people, different places in the world. And he comes back saying, no, they're, to the best of my ability, I discern that they are legitimate, that they're sane. And that made him write a couple of books and also brought him into this world that's getting stronger and stronger with believers, stronger and stronger with people who've seen with their own eyes, stronger and stronger with a deep intuition in our collective human consciousness, that this is all real. So Richard knew him, and I guess he knew John Mack's son, too. Let me just ask real quickly, Deborah, are we getting, is any of this being worked out at all? No? Okay. Then we want Deborah, we're hoping Deborah can get on today too with the meditation for us. I think a lot of us can really use a meditation the way things have been going. And she gives such wonderful meditations. And then Patricia Brady will be here too, assuming all our technicalities get worked out. Tricia has been on a couple of different times. She's a very alive, passionate, creative human being. And I didn't know it before, but now I know. She also does angel card readings. So today I think we're going to bring her on, if all goes well, with our technicalities. And she'll be here too, but I'm sorry for my stuttering, but for some reason, some of the technicalities is not working with the guests. So What's going on in our world? A lot. We've now left. I'm so sorry for doing this, guys. Okay. Okay. We left Afghanistan. The COVID virus thrown our human family some curveballs with this Delta variant. The economy is not in good shape, even though stock market goes up a lot. We know it's not in good shape, the economy, because we personally know people who are having a harder time. Inflation has gone way up. Housing market's bananas. To rent or buy in most markets is very, very difficult. And you get a lot of wealthy people going into different towns and buying up all the property, turning it into bed and breakfast, or not bed and breakfast, but what do they call that now? Anyway, a lot of the wealthy people are doing that, and that's hurting the economy too. People can't afford the rent. They can't afford to buy. True, true. So we've got the COVID virus. We've got leaving Afghanistan. We've got Mario Cuomo in trouble for the abuses, allegedly, toward women. Let's look at this. Let's look for themes and connections here. So we've talked about it a lot before, and there's a rising of the feminine in our world. And that's getting stronger and stronger all the time. The rising of the feminine, thank God. The patriarchy has been weighing us down with everything as left-brained linear logic. Even in our schools, art classes, music classes, people cut that first. I'd cut it last. The emphasis is more on science and math. Again, left-brained, yang, a male way of looking at life. And success is ultimate, is the ultimate. Fame and money are the ultimate. That's what our country has become to a large extent. Donald Trump is a reflection of that. The president of the United States is someone who they're best known for being wealthy and privileged, right? We're getting what we have been moving toward. We are in decay when we start concentrating more on those kind of things as opposed to the values that birthed us in the first place. Remember breaking away from the King of England? Breaking away from being dominated by kings, queens, or anything? Power to the people, everybody's equal. These are the things that the human race stood for when we colonized this area. Granted, it's not just a granted, horrible, we drove all the Native Americans out. That's certainly not good. That's terrible, in fact. I don't know if we'll ever get over that. But nevertheless, the principles that were brought, Thomas Jefferson, etc., about everybody being equal, power to the people, liberation and freedom for human beings, instead of being under shackles from governments, presidents, tyrants, dictators, kings, queens. No, we're free. We're free as long as we're responsible too, that this is our world and we need to do something with it. And this is some of the basis of the age of Aquarius. That's what it's based on. It's based on power to the people, liberation from those that control and dominate us. And that's what we've moved into, the Aquarian age. You know that I said we moved in last December. I mean, right now everybody's not feeling good, so they go, no, we couldn't have moved into anything wonderful. I feel bad. But you know we have. Just remember what it was when the election came and Trump was running against Biden and Kamala Harris. And Trump lost. Remember how so many people were like, oh my God, what if Trump gets in for another 4 years? Now we have entered the portal for the age of Aquarius, but we have a lot of work to do. And there's some darkness that we got to work through too. So back what I was saying about Afghanistan, rise of the feminine, and what comes up? The Taliban. We know how they treat women. Got to wear these burqas all the time, and they have to be stay at home. They can't get jobs. They can't do anything except stay home and take care of the guy and the children. That's it. And their punishments for these women is really abusive is a tame word. It's horrible. So that's the Taliban. And also you see Mario Cuomo, not Mario, wow. You see Andrew Cuomo. That's his father, Mario, for those of you that don't know. But Andrew Cuomo, and look what he's got. How many, 11, 12 women all saying that he did something with them or tried to do something with them? So this whole idea of the rise of the feminine is still very strong. And I think the Taliban coming out and Bill Cosby getting out of jail, those events are like, like there's an action and then there's a reaction. So the action is women coming into their power and their sovereignty. Reaction, people from the old school. School's too kind of a word. People from the old abusive ways of being want to keep women in shackles. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Just because we males are bigger physically, that doesn't make us stronger or better. Just stronger physically in most cases. That's about it. No, the rise of the feminine has just begun. So what does it look like right now? Well, let's also talk about the virus too. And that's such a confusing topic. And it's become political, horribly political. It's like, if you're wearing a mask and you get the vaccine, then you're a Democrat. And I don't buy any of that. I've had a hell of a difficult time deciding whether to get this vaccine or not, because it's got so many layers to it. What if it's stuff that's really bad inside of your body? What if these mRNA drugs are going to have a long-term effect on us as humans? I mean, they came up with these vaccines awful quickly, much more quickly than they usually do. So I don't know if it's good. By the same token, I don't want to be someone who is not joining in to the collective to make it easier for us as far as the virus goes, so that we don't get it, so it leaves our planet. These are difficult decisions, and I respect people whatever way they chose. I mean, I really do. Those that said, I'm not going to get this, I don't want to put that in my body. And besides, I think there's some kind of control mechanism that we're having put on us. I don't just toss that away like it's impossible. That's possible. But it's also quite possible that if we don't band together and get enough vaccines, this thing's going to last forever. It's a big mysterious virus. It's not so easy to just come up with yeah, that's it, got it. No, it's difficult. It's difficult to ascertain if you're really an open-minded person who really wants to look and see what the truth is and what's the right thing to do. So that's a big issue to get worked out, because what's happening with the Taliban and the government, it's shifting everything around. I mean, remember, the United States with its military-industrial complex. I love the United States. I'm a citizen. But you know something? We have been abusive around the world, just going into countries and trying to push our way of being onto them, taking their resources. Look at Iraq, for instance. Went in, took the resources, took out a man who actually was no direct threat to us. They had no weapons of mass destruction, it turned out. And we overran that country and overran those people. We've done that in other places too. It's wrong. It's got to end. And it's not part of Aquarian Age. Aquarian Age is diversity within unity. Everyone is equal. Everyone has a right to develop according to their own rhythm and their own connection with their God, their goddess, their soul, their higher self. Everyone has a right, and every country has a right to follow that. Just don't attack anybody else. So we've done a lot of that, and there's some karma for that. But even aside from the karma, the new age is about diversity within unity and equality. Even the United Nations is not equal countries. They got like 5 or 6 countries on the Security Council, and they can veto anything. And you know what they all have in common, those five? It's the five richest and biggest militaries in the world. They're the ones that have the last say. Should that be? Should the strongest militarily and economically be the ones that tell us what to do, that become controllers of the world? No, we need a better world body than that, and we will get that because the Aquarian age is here and no one's going to stop it. But it is going to be difficult to get there. To get there more fully, I should say, where we embody it, where we don't have so much of the old world trying to pull us down still. What we each can do is do our own homework, do our own inner work, do our own ability to make connections with our soul, our higher self, our God, goddess, whatever it is we believe in, our fellow human being. Take the judgments away from yourself too. If someone told you, hey, look, you're this aggressive side of you, just for an example, this aggressive side of you, is like really bad. You're like going after what you want. Don't go after what you want. That's selfish. Really? Some of that is right, as long as it's balanced with those other people besides you. So people can get judged for certain traits and then start repressing those traits, and then they become toxic because of the repression of the traits, and they become inauthentic because they've held back a certain part of themselves because of the programming by their family or their culture. So we are going to do it. This world belongs to humans, and we will be the ones who are more responsible for it too. Because look at what's happening as far as environment goes. So I've been listening to a show. We've done a show at a conference, Making Contact, and it's with a lot of people that are in that world, that UFO, ET world. It's been fascinating. The most fascinating part is when I see the panels that they've got. So we'll have all these different people there, all with their own opinions on what we need to do with what's going on as far as the alien presence, which according to many people, they're here. They're here right now. And they've been for a long time. Roswell was just not an isolated incident. It's like that's what's been happening. And now there's been disclosures this year from the military of the United States saying, yeah, it's true. A lot of this has happened. They haven't disclosed enough, totally, but they're opening up the doorway. They might be opening up the doorway because they know that the ET population is going to make themselves more known. So believe that that's going to keep happening. Believe that the rise of the feminine is going to keep happening. So all these different people on this Making Contact, see some of the people: Whitney Strieber, Danny Sheehan, Mark Sims, Mary Rodwell, Linda Moulton Howe, Barbara Lamb. A lot of very articulate, very intelligent people have been speaking about their experience with the ETs and the UFOs. These people are not purposely lying. They're not making any money, or very little, from talking about these things. They're obviously not insane. Listen to them, they're not insane. And this is what they believe, and this is what they know. So we have to open up our minds, open up our hearts, as to there's much more to reality than what we've been programmed to believe. And as we move into a new age of Aquarius, we need to open up our minds even more than we have before. We need to let in new consciousness. We need to let in new ways of living. We need to let ourselves evolve into citizens of the age of Aquarius. So a lot of those names that I just gave you are people that I'm in the process of bringing onto the show. Some of them anyway have shown interest. And so we'll be bringing them on. There was one guy, what was his name? Garrison, I think it was. And he believed a lot of the things that I've learned too, like from Zecharia Sitchin, about people coming from other planets down to the Earth millions of years ago, wanting to take our resources, looked at the workers that they had from the Earth, found them not very bright, so it made hybrids of them as the gods and goddesses, and the Neanderthals, or whatever level we were at in evolution at that time, mix them to create us. That's a theory. It kind of resonates with me sometimes. I don't know for sure, but it resonates. And then they come back every 3,600 years, I believe it is what Sitchin said. Come back every 3,600 years. But we're still, according to what Sitchin's math was, we're still like 100, 150 years away from them coming back, according to him. But then he's not the final word on anything, is he? So with this guy, James Garrison is his name, that talked about the Sitchin stuff. Well, he wasn't talking about Sitchin, but that's how I know all the things that he was talking about. And he believes that they're there now, they're here now, closer to us, and more of them are being seen and shown. Because what this Garrison believes is we're going through one of our self-destructive phases again. It happened with Atlantis, it happened with Lemuria, it happened with the Great Flood 12,000 years ago. That big wild events that almost wipe us out happen. And now what's there? Nuclear weapons, climate change. And he says we got 4 or 5 years to straighten up the climate change issue. I don't know that that's true. That's certainly something I want to listen to and look after and see if it's true. And of course, the nuclear weapons. Here's the thing. Are they good for us and good people? Are they bad for us and bad people? I don't think we know that yet. I think the more optimistic among us and idealistic believe they're here to help us, like not to destroy ourselves. But there's other people out there that see that, why would that it's wrong for them to come here and abduct us, no matter what good they're looking for. That's what I heard from some of the people on the panel today. It's like, these people are abducting us and changing our bodies. How can we tolerate that? How can we let these people do that? They can't be good, they're bad. So it all depends on how you look at this. But they're here. And we're going to need to learn how to communicate and let them in. Okay, so astrologically, we got a new moon coming up, don't we? A full moon, I'm sorry. We have a full moon coming up. It'll be at 29 degrees of Aquarius, Leo. And it's very, very end of Aquarius, Leo, because then we're into Virgo time of year, Sun in Virgo. In fact, Sun in Virgo is going to be on Sunday. The Sun enters Virgo. So a lot of what we want to do during that month is to find order in our homes, in our bodies, in our lives, in our viewpoints, get order, clean things up. And then in October, right now there's 5 planets retrograde after Uranus went retrograde last week, which was quite upsetting for many people. There's all the outer planets are retrograde, but then in October, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are going direct, and it's going to be a powerful month because following that, those planets going direct, we get the eclipses in November and December. So now's a good time to go inward. Now's a good time to clean things up. But I can tell you that it's not going to be very long before it's time to move forward. Okay, I'm going to try to get somebody on here. Let's see who we can try to get on. I see Trish is here. Deborah's here. Hi, Trish. Can you hear me okay, Trish? Okay. Let's see. Does that bring you on?
Yes, hello.
We can hear you.
Oh, good.
That's good. Well, see, now Richard is somewhere over there. Richard, Trish was able to get on.
I had a hard time. I had some difficulty. It took a minute.
What happened? What happened?
I just had to change my passcode a couple times, and then I have a personal YouTube channel, and then that popped up, so it took a minute, but I made it.
And the guest link that I sent you, that worked out. That was good.
Yes.
Okay. So Miss Trish.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, I think, is that as far as I know we're going to pick an angel card, but I just want to comment on some of the things you said in regards to aliens. I think that so many of us, I know you know, I think this, have programmed trauma in us, and that anything, so until we clear that trauma and the program, anything that is different threatens that. So like you would see like an alien as threatening, and you would see it in a very linear way because of the way, it's like the things we see with big eyes and small heads, like ET, instead of like maybe it's an energy, it's a frequency, it's like a vibration you feel, but it doesn't come in the form of a human like we're used to. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like it's important to have an open mind and to realize that we are limited in our conceptual understandings, and also time, it may not be linear in a different
exactly right, different realities.
Yeah. And
you're right about the traumatic, but even people that haven't been traumatized, most people are frightened of like anything that's that new. That's
different.
That's new and that's different. That's scary. I mean, I don't know how I'll react when I go face to face with one of them. I don't know. You know, I'm a normal human being. I go face to face with something that looks so different than me. I go, holy, whoa, what am I going to do now?
You get scared sometimes from an energetic vibration that you're not used to.
Exactly.
Or a dream, or all these different realms that I think are becoming more available to us in these times too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that we would visually feel threatened by. Maybe more of a heightened sort of intuition of like something's, when you feel like you can see something in your peripheral vision a lot of times, and you look and it kind of gives you a chill.
Oh yeah, definitely that happens. And it could be someone there.
Right. It could be, we don't know, there's so much that we don't know. And I feel like the more that we clear, and I feel like COVID has been such a time for so many of us around the planet to go deeper and heal, because we've had all this time, if you choose that route.
And that's been scary too for people.
Yeah. And I feel it's really interesting though, with the, 2 full moons in Aquarius, and the rise of the Taliban, and it's like everything has to get awful to break open maybe before, but the timing of it with the Taliban back and the rise of the feminine and 2 full moons in Aquarius and COVID just out of control. It seems that there's got to be some sort of tipping point for all this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if there'll be a tipping point, but I know that everything is shifting and changing pretty rapidly. And October will be a turning point for all of us moving forward. And then the eclipses are coming. So the eclipses are coming too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's two Aquarius full moons. I mean, it's really not as important as people put out there. It's just 2 Aquarius full moons. It doesn't change anything really. But it gets promoted a lot, just like when the Earth is like a supermoon, that would get promoted a lot too. And that's just that we see it larger. The moon. Yeah,
but don't you think though, when we see it larger, that's more light energy coming in, and it does affect us on an energetic level? I think I'm open to believing that. I mean, it hasn't been my experience, but other people, that is their experience.
Yeah. Because the moon is our inner light, is what it's meant to be, our inner world. So
I mean, I know
it's
that
possible to feel more light on an internal level during those times. Could be.
I know I don't sleep
You?
well on full moons. I mean, I have to make my room, I have to make sure that the shades are drawn so that the moonlight doesn't come in because it will wake me up.
But is that any full moon or certain ones?
Any full moon. Full moon.
I think people know that the tides change.
Yeah.
Depending on what the moon's doing. I want to get us a card here.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to pick them, and they're angel cards, and I don't know what. I'm just going to pick one fresh for the energy of this moon and these big shifts that I see. Beatrice feels that a big shift's coming. I do too. I feel like everything is sort of like a snow globe, and we'll see what happens. So, okay, this is nice. The card that I just picked is joy and contentment.
Okay.
I'm going to read. What
does that mean for us? Yes.
I'm going to read what it says, but then I'm going to have my interpretation of joy and contentment is we have to find our own in troubling times. That's what comes immediately to mind for me is instead of always looking for the external for our joy, we have to find it in these times that feel so like shifty. That's how I interpret it. So like what brings you joy, do it and don't question it. Just do it because joy is a high vibrational emotion and frequency. So something that brings you joy, it's a safe bet that that'll be something positive, I think, unless you got some problems. But anyway, I mean, so joy and contempt, that's a good one to get. So be here now. Enjoy the present moment and all the positive experiences that have unfolded and are continuing to unfold. A wave of contentment is washing over your life. Contentment is about taking time to reflect on your situation, enjoy the moment, and trust that you are always being guided. Your angel team is encouraging you to follow your heart now. Do what makes your heart and soul sing. I think now more than ever, that's what everybody needs to do. And that creates a vibration of lifting everybody up. So
true.
Do what makes you smile, dance, and rejoice in the glory of life. Your angel guide is encouraging you to live your joy fully. Know that your ultimate purpose is to live joyfully, and through the expression of your joy, you will reach a state of bliss and contentment. Happiness is the key to inner peace, and you are being given the opportunity to experience it now.
Yeah, that sounds
I really like that.
So, I mean, so what you're saying is that during rough times, we can still find joy and contentment.
Yeah. Well, do we expect the external circumstances not to be rough, and then therefore we can have our own private dance party or whatever it is that makes you happy? So
Right.
like even more in troubling times. And if you believe in vibration and frequencies and energy, the more joy that you have in your life with whatever you're doing, that transmits out. So
Without a doubt.
yeah. And so now more than ever, doing what inside for all of us makes us happy is more important because there's so much scary turmoil out there. And that's how we can contribute to shifting it to something more positive instead of waiting for the news to change. I mean, that's not going to happen.
I know my parents and grandparents, when they went through depression and world wars, either the First or Second World War. And people did not like give up. People did not get like super depressed. People actually gathered more with other people. You'd find people, and you never see this nowadays, do you, Trish? People in the neighborhood all come out, and they gather together and they talk about what's going on in the world. Sit on each other's porches. You don't see that.
Yeah, unless after some kind of storm. Like a lot of times you see it after catastrophes. It opens people's hearts and they come out to help, after a hurricane, a flood, or tornado. Exactly. Why do we have to wait for that to, spread our joy with just, what I like to do is when I go to the market is I always like to look at the name tag of the person and call them by name. And you can see it on their face. It's so simple. And it's my little way of making my life better because you can see that you are actually lifting someone else up. So like whatever brings you joy that makes you happy is going to be felt by others in your environment. So that's a perfect card to pick right now for these.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And a good interpretation too. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you too. And
yeah, thank you.
Don't worry, everybody. She's not going to be on anymore today, but Trish will be back many times.
Yay. Okay. Thank you, Leo.
Take good care of yourself.
Okay, bye.
Well, let's try Richard Ruttenberg now and see if we can get him. He's patiently trying to. Okay, so we can bring him out. Richard, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you very well, and you can hear me too, right?
Yeah, I just can't see
Ah.
you.
Yeah, how about that?
I've been trying desperately to enable my camera. I went to my settings. I did everything I can think of. For some reason, it's just not happening. Every time I hit that red line, it comes up and it says, make sure it's properly connected, not used by another application. I'm not using it in any other application. I just don't understand. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening here.
Now you're here, so that's good.
That's a good thing. I wish I could see me, but how you doing there? We finally.
I'm doing pretty good, Richard. Thanks.
I like your show. It's very interesting. I was listening, but very frustrated because I wish you could see me too.
That's know, okay. But I can hear you well. I'm not sure why we can't see you, but before we couldn't do either. So this is an improvement from before. But you saw Trish come on, so I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I guess I'm not as savvy as I thought I was with these computers.
Oh, I know.
But,
so let's. I told everybody just a little bit before, and that's that you knew Dr. Mack. Tell me how you met him, and tell me a little bit about your relationship with him.
Well, it's interesting. I was a drummer at the Berklee College of Music in Boston, and his son Kenny was also a drummer there at Berklee, and we were in the same music theory class. And I don't know, I think I made him laugh during one of the classes, and then we talked afterwards. We hit it off really well, and we decided that we were going to become roommates. So we got this apartment in the Back Bay on Queensberry Street, where all the other musicians lived, and we set up our drum set. We lived on the third floor of this big building, and we had our drums there, and musicians practiced 24 hours there, so we could make all the noise we wanted. Nobody ever complained. It was a great time of our life. We were young, and Kenny was a great guy. I mean, he really made an impression on me, and he was a vegetarian. Well, he is a vegetarian. I never saw this guy put anything bad into his body. He was, and I started to emulate that a little bit. He was quite handsome, quite the ladies' man, and all the girls flocked to him. I mean, we couldn't walk down the street without them fainting over him. I was quite jealous. He was,
but not a bad guy to hang out with. He's attracting women.
Oh yeah,
paid
to it. He was a sweet, sweet guy, and not a mean bone in his body. And eventually, he invited us to meet his parents. I had no idea who Dr. Mack was at the time, and I remember going over to his house for dinner and meeting his mom Sally and his brother Danny and brother Tony, and they had a whole house full of dignitaries. It was unbelievable, and I felt really self-conscious. There was this whole house of intellectuals and high-minded people. It was interesting.
How old were you at that time? How old were you? Did you say, Richard? At that time, how old were you?
Like that.
18, 19. Yeah, sure.
About 20 years old, something like that.
Yeah,
as a kid,
seeing people like that.
Oh my goodness, it was very, very. I think to myself, a comfortable person in my life, and to this day, I still think that about him. And I saw them a couple more times, and I remember they came to Pittsburgh, where I'm from, and Dr. Mack was giving a speech somewhere in Pittsburgh. And Kenny called from the hotel that they were staying at, and I went to see them. And again, I went into the hotel room, and there were like 16 people in the room, like the reporters and professors and whoever. And Dr. Mack, like I told you, was so comfortable in his own skin. He was sitting on the bed in his underwear, not a care in the world, not a shred of self-consciousness, answering questions, reading the newspaper, multitasking like crazy. He was just the coolest guy, And I remember talking to him privately, and he gave me a copy of his book, A Prince of Our Disorder, which he won the Pulitzer Prize. He won that in 1976. Oh, I don't know if he won it in 1906. I know he wrote the book. But,
did you read the one about with the cosmos? I forget what the name is right now. Passport to the Cosmos. Yeah. Did you read that?
I tried to read it. He's so, he was so above everything. It was hard to understand some of it, but yeah, I got the gist of it. And yes, he believed those people. He flew around the world interviewing people that said they were abducted by alien beings, and he believed them. And I wrote the tribute album to him or for him because of one of the quotes. He said, when these people encountered these aliens, it wasn't as if they were speaking to them, but more so through vibrations they were able to communicate. Hence the name of my album.
Yes.
So the album's called Vibrations, and I never forgot Dr. Mack, nor I forget my time with his son Kenny. We had a great time, a great time in my life, and they were such fascinating people, and they were such a good family. So they made a lifelong impact.
So what kind of music did you write for concerning him, Richard?
Very
what kind of music?
My whole thing is like, I have my own style. I call it Ruttenberg fusion, and it's sort of like outer space music. Most of my albums have that kind of theme because I'm fascinated by beings from other planets, and of course they exist. I mean, it's ridiculous to think otherwise. It's ridiculous, and I don't know. I wrote these series of songs, and they have a nice, unique style to Dr. Mack. And, I figured this was the right album to write for him, and he's the kind of fellow that you cannot forget, and you must not forget. He was a very important person in this world, and time will prove him absolutely correct.
Oh, I know 100% you are correct. I know you're right.
Yeah, he was a hell of a man.
Right. Can we get any of your music on the air right now, or are we gonna have to wait to bring you back? And can we get some now? Oh, good. Excellent.
Bear with me for a second. Go to my Bandcamp page. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay. I'm going to choose a song. Let's see here. Let me just get to the right album here. Just bear with me, Leo.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's slow at the moment.
And those of you listening right now, following Richard's music and the interview with him, I hope he comes back. But following that, Deborah's going to be giving us a meditation that'll help us all nowadays.
Okay, this particular song, Leo,
yes,
it's called "A Poet on Mars." And if anybody should have been sent to Mars, it's Dr. Mack. So here is "A Poet on Mars." Hey, tell me if you can hear this. Here it comes.
Yes. Oh yeah, keep going.
Yeah, this is for Dr. Mack, man.
Very nice. Wow. Oh my God, I love it. It totally blasts open my throat and heart chakra, and it's on the outside it's very nice, but it brings me down into a much deeper place in my soul too. I really love it.
There you go, man. There you go.
Richard, how can people will you come back again and play more music another time?
Sure.
Richard?
Yeah.
How can people?
I'll fade this one out right.
And then tell people how they can get this.
Are titled, through things I read about Dr. Mack, like he uses the words "authentic mystery." That's a song. "Other Dimensions." That's another song. "Passport to the Cosmos" is the title of the song. "The Curious Visionary,"
yes.
"Firewall of the Mind," "The Man Who Knew Infinity," "Beyond Imagination," "Psychobiographer," "Andromeda Nebula," "Quasi-Stellar Radio Source," "Authentic Mystery." Yeah. So all the titles have something to do with him. And
how can people get this album, Richard? How can they purchase it?
Leo.
Yes.
Did you hear what I said earlier?
About how they can purchase it? No. Yeah, I heard what you said. Yes, I heard all of it. But then I'm asking, how can people purchase this album from you?
Well, they can go to my Bandcamp page, and Bandcamp is well, let's see. I can give you the
address.
It's https://rdruttenberg.bandcamp.com/album/vibrations. I mean, you can post that. It's hard to remember.
And it's RUTT, right? And then it's a
RUTT
and BERG on the end.
Right. That's right. You know what? I'll send it to you, and you can.
Okay, and I'll put it out to the people on our Deborah and my list so they can get it. But I really want you. I really very much, after hearing that now, I very much want you to come back. Even if it had nothing to do with Dr. Mack, I just love that little piece that you played. That was really nice. Like I said, it just blew open my throat and heart chakra. Really
that's nice. Thank you. I don't know. You want to hear more? I got more. Lots more.
I've got a little bit of time. Why don't you give me about 2 minutes, because I got to bring Deborah on for
I'll tell you what,
before the show ends.
I'll play "Passport to the Cosmos" for you. Here it comes.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, Leo, here's a little bit of authentic mystery, another Dr. Mack thing. Check this out.
Okay. Wonderful. I love all your music, Richard. I love all your music. I love. I've got to let you go today. I got to let you go today, unfortunately. But promise me you'll come back. So.
Absolutely. But let's figure out the
good
camera thing next time.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely. I don't know why.
I had a lot of fun with you.
Thanks for your patience. Take care of yourself.
Cool.
Bye, Richard.
Thank you. Bye.
And let's talk to Deborah to give us some relaxation, all the things we're all going through in the world. Let's hear a new meditation by Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hey, everybody. So I just wanted to say before I start, just kind of bringing everything in that was talked about today into the meditation, is that, the thing I was tuning into it today about it being once in a blue moon, two Aquarius full moons, and what it means to me is that it's we get double time, we get twice where we get to honor the energy of Aquarius, that is
right.
The new age we've just entered.
That's right.
And that it's like another opportunity also to work with that balance inside of us. Because whenever there's a full moon, I always feel like I'm balancing the polarity of the sun and the moon.
That's exactly right.
So this is like another opportunity, because we're still in the Leo lunar cycle for the next couple of weeks. And so it's like this, it's another time to integrate those energies of Leo and Aquarius. And so the meditation is, I'm going to just bring us into that balance of those energies. And I think, the card that Trish pulled and all and the music, like the dancing and the like bringing joy and being in the moment is very much of the Leo energy. And then the Aquarian energy takes it to, okay, how can this serve the greater humanity and the earth at this time of great need? And to remember that we're in a time of purification, that we truly have entered the new age of Aquarius. And we need to remember that what's going on right now is part of the divine plan, and to really shift our focus to seeding the new earth, and really at every new moon and full moon, really working with and calling in those energies to help us anchor, ground, seed the new earth. So that's what we'll do in the meditation. It's just going to be a very shortened meditation due to our time. So I just want everyone to be able to feel this full moon energy. And I'm just going to play this crystal singing bowl. And if everyone would just close your eyes and just tune in into your heart center. And just become aware of the light in your heart. You might even imagine it like a golden sun in your heart, which is very much like the energy of Leo. It's that golden sun light, that golden energy in your heart space. Your sacred heart light. And just take a moment to feel the power of your inner sun. And the radiance that you carry in your heart. The unique signature your heart holds. And just for a moment to feel your sovereignty in this light, which again is that radiating Leo energy, that sovereign light of your divinity within. That unique way of self-expression and creation that only you have to express in this world. And just feeling for a moment your sacred medicine, your gifts, the gifts of your heart signature, the gifts of your inner light and divinity. And then just imagine now that sun radiating and expanding, sending rays of light from your heart, from that great sun within you. Just feel it radiating out now to bless our earth, our planet, and all life on our planet. And feel that heart light of yours beaming and radiating out to touch all beings in humanity. And sending that heart light and your heart signature and gifts to the parts of the world, to the parts of humanity, the ones in humanity that are suffering, that need your gifts, your heart light. And sending your heart light to those areas, to those beings in need, to the Mother Earth. And just radiating that light and feeling your place in the great wholeness of humanity, in the larger community of our whole humanity, and how important your heart light is, your radiance, your gifts, your heart signature, your medicine is for the greater whole, how important your puzzle piece is. And as we get ready for the full moon, which is early tomorrow morning, you can focus on radiating this heart light to the earth, to all creatures, all beings, to the earth herself, to all humanity, and feeling yourself in that big circle, that big wholeness of all that is in our human family as we join together in this new age of Aquarius and in the birthing and seeding of the new earth. So let your light shine to bless and serve the greater whole. That's the message of the Aquarius full moon.
Thank you, Deb.
Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be all beings.
Thank you, Deborah. That was beautiful. Very calming, very nice. Let me see if I've got a little bit of time left here to say, we'll see you in 2 weeks. I think that's September 4th. If you want to get a hold of me, if you can even hear this now, it's Soulus, SOULUS, at AOL.com. And I've got a blog I'm putting out later today. And come back in 2 weeks for the radio show. Take care, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.